What's up, fam? Mainman here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. Salute to the fam, man. I'm listening to Errol Spence Jr.'s Twitter right now, right? And it seems like Errol Spence Jr. is responding to a recent quote that Michael Benson had let out that Bob Arum had said about Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. And Bob Arum says, and I quote, "I talked to Al Heyman. He's amenable to the fight. Spence is the obstacle. Spence throws out the numbers and the percentages. We believe Crawford will beat him. Unfortunately, Spence believes the same. Don't blame Heyman. Blame Spence." End quote. You know, first off, man, screw Bob Arum. You know what I'm saying? Screw Bob Arum. Man, that's all nice. That's all great. You know, public opinion, public perception. Get us going back and forth all over again. The same old, same old. Man, screw Bob Arum. You know what I'm saying? Where was this damn effort at the last few years? You know what I mean? Every time I turn around, Bob Arum is playing the blame game. We want solutions. Forget blaming whoever. We're past the blame portion. Does these suits not understand that? I'm sick of this game. I can do a video easily with this angle and just go totally in on Errol Spence Jr. But for what? For what? It's going no freaking where. You know what I mean? So screw Bob Arum. He's one of the obstacles of this situation. And I'm not going to sit out here and believe Bob Arum trying to drive a wedge between Errol Spence Jr. and Al Heyman, trying to change public perception. Nah, I'm not going for that. At the end of the day, the clock is ticking, Bob. You got till October to make something happen, or else Terence Crawford might be walking out the door. Might be. But that's all I'm saying, bro. Like, forget Bob Arum, man. Errol Spence Jr. came right behind this and said, yo, man, laughing emojis, lying ass Bob strikes again. So Errol Spence Jr. shot this down ASAP, didn't let it get no kind of daylight. That's a smart man right there, smart man. But Bob Arum, man, you know, he always got something to come out and want to play the blame game, just want to play the public perception game. Bro, what's up with you and Bud, man? Are you and Bud good? Are you giving, or are you just making this, putting these quotes out there so you won't have to give Terence Crawford his extra $1 million for not offering the fight? Which one is it? Believe Bob, man. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Errol Spence then comes out and continues to tweet. He says that all those accomplishments with names that people won't remember. Clearly, that's a shot at Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? He came behind that and said, yo, all I hear is accomplishments. I see so many greats I look up to inside the ring who didn't take care of their business outside the ring. And that shut up and box has been over, at least with me. You know, I understand what Earl is saying to a certain degree. Me as a boxing aficionado myself, I want to see all fighters do well, especially after the sport. So what Earl is saying to a certain degree is right. He'll come back and he'll go in on these suits and in these networks in his next tweet, and he's 100% right. These dudes don't care. These suits don't care. These networks don't care. When the lights go out, they're not sending you healthcare plans. They're not checking up on you. No. You know what I'm saying? And every rare occasions that happens. You know what I mean? So, no, you're pretty much on your own. And we see how sad that story ends. So, Earl has a point to an extent. But, an extent, we're not going to let him diminish accomplishments but so much. See, this is something that not only Spence, but Spence Nation like to do. And that is, y'all like to turn around and make it like these accomplishments don't mean anything and they don't translate to money. I disagree, because there is a reason why Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford is the biggest fight in the world. Not based on, oh, they're the most popular guys in the world, because they're not. It's the biggest fight in the world because of the accomplishments of the two fighters, believe it or not. You got to think about it. Errol Spence Jr. has pretty much taken the spot of my man Keith Thurman. He beat the same fighters that he beat, and he got a couple more to add on in Lamont Peterson and Kell Brook. All of those accomplishments, those are good top, supposedly named fighters that he went through to get to who he is today. That all came through accomplishments. People want to come out and see him fight by the multitudes because of how good he is and what he is accomplishing in the ring. It's the same way with Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford, highly accomplished fighter, 3-division, former undisputed champion, lineal champion, all day. Those accomplishments is the reason why if anybody on YouTube do a Terence Crawford video, you're going to do okay. Everybody say, oh, no one knows him. Funny how he's one of the top names in boxing. And the reason that he is so well respected, so well sought out, and when he fights, we definitely tuning in, is because of his accomplishments. You can't become who you want to become without accomplishments. So you got to get those boxes checked before you can become big shit. For the most part. Because in today's boxing, there's a funhouse mirror thing going on with the internet where they can make these fighters seem like more than what they really are. And before they check those accomplishment boxes, they put them up to be some star. You know what I mean? Well, that's just today's boxing. That's only a couple boxes throughout of the whole sport. But for the most part, we learn of these fighters and we want to see them fight, and we tune in and we use our purchasing power for the strength of they are such good fighters and they've accomplished things. Now they worth our money. So that's how accomplishments translates into dollars. So I'm not going to let Errol diminish accomplishments only but so much. Granted, you may be doing the better business, but sometimes just because you got the better numbers business-wise doesn't always mean that you should be, always just perceived to be the guy who gets the bulk share of the money. That's not always the case. That is not all just because you move or viewed more. The Adrian Browners, the Gervonta Davises, they viewed highly. They get a lot of good numbers. So just because they got good numbers, you know what I mean? Oh, Gervonta Davis should be A-side over Teofimo Lopez. How does that sound to a lot of fans? You see what I'm saying? This is an example I'm using. Just because they move, no, it matters. It's a mixture of both accomplishments and popularity. And when you going against someone with the same level, if not higher, in my opinion, higher accomplishments than you have, then you have to show him a certain level of respect, because there's no one else at this class that got your accomplishments, which means that there's no one else at this class who I can make a bigger fight with other than him. So just by Terence Crawford fitting that bill and being able to put that head on and say, I'm the guy that's either your equal or above, that warrants respect, which means you should respect his accomplishments enough to pay him properly. Now, when you want to argue about the suits and the networks, you right. But in this case, brother, you making damn good money versus Terence. 50-50 or not, you covering more than $10 million. That argument does not apply here. There's a lot of other arguments that they can apply to. But right here, no. Not only are you doing very, very well, but even against Bud, you'll make good money. Now, I'm not saying listen to Bob Arum and cheat yourself. I'm getting to a point, truth be told, if Bob Arum gets pushed out of this situation, so be it. He's been blocking and blaming. I'm sick of it. If Bud gonna have to walk across the street to get the fight, so be it. We as fans are sick of that. We ain't in no corners or no suits. We just want to see the freaking fight. So whichever side gonna make this happen, make the magic happen. You know what I mean? Make the magic happen. So Errol then come back and says, instead of taking Bob's $200,000 signing bonus, I went with Al, my advisor, and didn't take a signing bonus. Took a stipend a month for a year to hold me afloat until I started making okay money, because I knew where I could take it and believe in you. All day. He didn't take the money. He didn't take Bob's money. That's fine. That's cool. Ain't nobody knocking your route, bro. That's good. And we know you believe in you. Fine. So you basically saying if I hold out, then guess what? Y'all gonna have to bend to my will eventually. Don't play with fire. Learn from over-marination. Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, didn't get it. Charlo versus Hurd, didn't get it. I get it, your financials got to be looked out for, but your financials are being looked out for because you got the great Al Heyman. You know, if I don't know how, I'm not going to quote Bob as saying truth if Al is willing to do this or do that. I don't know. But all I do know is at the end of the day, bro, you and Bud going to make a good load of money if you do a 50-50, whatever. My only golden question now is I'm starting to wonder about this, though. I'm going to keep it 100. Is Bob Arum, what is he asking for Errol Spence Jr. to take? Because that's the information that we do not know. When he says 60-40, what is the guarantee and what is that? You know, the 60-40 I perceive should be the pay-per-view split, right? So what is the guarantee number? I mean, I wonder what that number could be. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not too sure. I don't know. We don't even know how much Earl is. We just know he won 60-40 of the pay-per-view revenue, but we don't know what that guaranteed number will be. As of now, one thing we do know is that Crawford makes more guaranteed per fight than Errol Spence Jr. in most cases. I don't know if they'll go according to those numbers or there's a higher number. We don't know. All we do know is at the end of the day, we sick of this conversation. I'm sick of this conversation. I don't freaking know. Just freaking fight. It's been years in the making. It's the biggest fight in boxing. It's zero reason why it should happen. At the end of the day, I'm going to stay on my position of this fight ain't happening no earlier than 2022. I'm now a believer. I'm in that camp now too. The way things are moving, the way things are going, dog, this fight ain't happening, and at least until Bud's contract situation comes up and we see which way he pivots. You know what I'm saying? But right now, it's just a bunch of talk, a bunch of blame gaming, keeping us talking about it, keeping us chattering about it. Errol Spence need to get off this. Accomplishments don't mean nothing. You got to get like Bud. You got to do what he did. He been through 3 divisions. You still in 1. You know what I mean? All you did is beat who Keith beat, and added a couple more onto it. You know what I'm saying? So you got Bud has been there and done what you've done. You know what I mean? Respect that man, dog. Respect him and to know that he is your equal at this point, and you got to pay him as such. Because there's nobody you gonna make that money with, not named Manny Pacquiao. What, you gonna get Keith a chance? You ain't gonna get Keith a chance. You acting like you avoiding Keith like the plague. So if it ain't gonna be Keith, who the hell is it? It's gonna be you and Adrian Bronner? Is it that what's gonna happen? I don't know. All we do know is there's no other equal. And given that he's your equal, he put that work in. Give him what he needs. Give him what he needs. Because by your logic, Spence, because you did the better business, if you was to fight Adrian Bronner, he will be the A-side all day. To the next video. Peace out.